Hello everyone, Russell Wright, networkempire.com, and I'd like to welcome you to part 5, I believe, Matt? Yeah.
Yes,
we're going to talk today about website blueprint, and we've really enjoyed breaking these down into individual sections, and people have expressed that they really appreciate it. And I want to express my appreciation for you making a call on a busy day, and I know that you guys have businesses that you're running, and you've got a lot of stuff going on, so I want to make this the most valuable time that you could possibly spend. So please do feel free to add questions at any time. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on topic, but we do answer off-topic questions more at the end of the webinar. So let's try to keep it about the things that we're covering. If there are any questions about our other products and services, of course, do feel free. So with no further ado, I'm just going to get out of the way, and we're going to jump right in to talking about the website blueprint stuff.
Right, how's everybody? Yeah, today we're on step 5, website blueprint, and what we're going to cover today is basically how the screen works, how it interacts with your content, how you can see what's going on in your site structure, what's been published and what's not. We're briefly going to speak about what happens when we publish content and how it actually becomes visible in the promotional plan area. And then we're going to hop across and basically take the Silo plugin, import the blueprint. I'm going to give you some updates on what's happening with the Silo plugin. We're going to have some more developments coming out soon on this year. And then we'll watch how it interacts and changes a blank website. Okay, this is our WordPress website. Right, so today's webinar is not going to be long, guys. It's going to be short because this is a small section. But this is basically the place where you get your website live, and this is where the whole game really starts. So you've done your market analysis, you've built out your framework, you've found your DNA keywords, you put them together, you've set up your team tasks, or you've set tasks for yourself, you've written the content, now you want to get your website live. So when you want to make your site live, basically when you come to this screen, you can look at all the content, okay? You can order more content. You can look at the current tasks, completed tasks, all tasks. This gives you all the primary content access. Alternatively, you can actually just open up the nodes and you can see the structure. And over here we can see, okay, there's only one article finished, okay? We have a Silo article written. We have a whole bunch of articles that have been ordered, and we have some that are not ordered. Now, with the publishing mode, depending on what your task is, it's not strict in the sense that you have to write your content before you can publish. But we do recommend that before you publish your site, at least get the content in, unless your client just wants the framework, i.e. the blueprint for the website. In that case, all you'll simply do is, if they just want to have the framework put out for themselves and put into a blog, you can basically map it out, bypass steps 3 and 4, come here, check it, click publish, and you can actually select the whole website. And I just need to log back in again. Let's go back here. Let's just get back to our website there. So what we'll do is we'll check all the stuff, we'll click publish primary content, and what's going to happen is that will then assign every article in our blueprint with a little blue world and a green arrow pointing up, and this basically means that that node or that keyword is ready to be published. Now, the way this works with the Silo Blueprint plugin is you need to have the parent keyword present if you want to publish any of the siblings. So let's say, for example, I just want to unpublish these. To unpublish, you can just check it. Let's just say we wanted to publish these 3 over here. If I went like this and I click publish, and I then went and imported my content into my blueprint, no matter what I do in the WordPress blog, I will not see these 3 articles because they are children of the Silo. The categories are children of the Silo. The same applies to the supporting articles. If I basically just want to publish those ones there. I need to have commercial and office cleaning present, because if I don't, you won't see commercial cleaning and you won't see the office cleaning nodes at all, which means it's impossible to actually expose the supporting articles at the bottom layer. So in order to make this work, you need to always publish the parents of the keywords you want to have visible. So what's great about this is basically you can come along and you can build your website out silo by silo, and you can also see the dates that the content's due on. So you can also plan yourself much better. You can organize yourself much better with the dates. You can see who's writing your content. You can think about what you're going to be publishing. If you change your mind, you can unpublish stuff. And basically, this is how the screen works. It just gives you control of what you're going to be releasing when you do it. So to go ahead, basically come here, you click on the export button. That's going to save the blueprint to the desktop. Okay. Let's open that up there. And I want to move this to my desktop. Control C. Control V. Okay, it's there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hop across here to the silo export, and this blog's blank. There's nothing in it. So what we got here is the settings, and this gives you access to excerpts. And basically these shortcut excerpts, what they'll do is they can allow you to put contextual links or your synopsis links into the actual copy. So it'll take a synopsis link and it'll basically give the short description and a link to the page that it's putting on. And it'll only always do it for the siblings and the parent category that it falls under. Just for links, you can take this and you can actually put the shortcut into the text widget and you can drag it into your blog. With this current version, we have got the widgets all sorted out. So if we go to our widgets, we just basically drag the plugin, the advanced silo plugin there, you just drag it into where you want it to appear, and that'll create the navigational structure in your website blueprint. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to import this blueprint. Now you can set it to draft or publish. So for this exercise, I'm just going to publish it. I'm going to keep my shortcode turned off. I don't want it in my copy. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to grab the blueprint, click open, and I'm going to basically import that in. Now that you'll notice it's been imported, what we can do is we can actually look at the pages. Okay, so there's the structure. With the current version of the plugin, if you change this, if we go quick edit and we actually change the headline in any way, we need to make sure that whatever we have there, we go to the posts, categories, and we mirror the best office cleaning service in Scotland. We have to come and quick edit this, and we need to make sure that the slug and the headline is identical to the page. In the new version that's going to be coming out with the plugin, the updates we're going to be doing there is one, that if you make a change to a page title, your categories will always automatically get changed for you. We're giving you the ability to define customized CSS style sheets for the silo navigation, and we're going to give you access to all your metadata. So you can look at the title, the description, the metadata, and the synopsis, and you can basically bulk edit them as well. Currently with SEO Ultimate, if we go to the meta descriptions, we can come and look at the posts and the pages, and we can actually look at the page meta description. So we can come in here, we can actually fill it in and tweak them in bulk as well. Okay, the same applies for the meta keywords and the meta titles, the title tag rewriter. So at the moment, I use SEO Ultimate, and I come in here and I just bulk. There you can see there's all our stuff from DWS all been imported in. We can actually come in here and tweak this out in bulk save it. So you can do like a bulk edit. So the SEO Ultimate plugin works really well with the Silo Blog Builder, and it exposes all the metadata. Right, so we've imported the pages. So if I refresh this now, we can see what we got. So right, there's our navigation, and the way we got the navigation over here was simply by basically dragging the widget into the main sidebar. So if I take this into the footer sidebar, you'll see that it'll move across the page. So if we refresh this now, it'll appear over here. Okay, so there's the meta stuff there. Here's our navigation. Now what you know is we're at the root, and it's automatically putting a link to window cleaning, to the best office cleaning service in Scotland countrywide. Now this is the headline, right, in the content. I just want to show you where this comes from. When we go to window cleaning, for example, let's just have a look at office cleaning. So I've just clicked on that link. Now the keyword we're targeting is office cleaning, but this article headline here, the best office cleaning service in Scotland countrywide, is basically what comes into our navigation. So when we click on this, we can see it there, we can see it in the shortcode. It's the H1 tag. It's inside the title tag, and we should see it in our metadata as well. So there's like keywords, and there we go, there's the title there. So it puts all the information into the actual metadata for us. So this is what's great about DWS, is we can come along and get our stuff really fine-tuned over here, hop across the web, let's just back up, get our content written, get it fine-tuned. We then come to our blueprint, we publish what we want to release right now. Okay, so let's just say we wanted to do those two little silos there. We publish that, we export out the blueprint, we come across to our website, silo builder, silo importer, import it. Now we can come to our menus, and we can actually customize this website and create the menu and set everything up. So what I'm going to do on the top bar here, I'm going to basically just drag in my two categories. So I'm going to add them in. Okay, I'm going to shuffle this up that way. Okay, now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to save it. And what I've done here is I've just dragged my silo keywords in over here, and I'm going to save it to the top bar. Now we come back to our website, and I refresh this. We'll have our menu bar in place. So there's home, window cleaning, best office cleaning in Scotland countrywide. Okay, so that's how simple it is for us to actually go and build a website blog. Now, if all our content was written, then obviously we would have everything over here. So have we published office cleaning? Office cleaning is published. And that's it, guys. This is what we do. Now we've given you the ability to get a website built out rapidly. Now the way you make money with this screen basically is you can charge a client up to like $500 or $1,000 just to map out their blueprint. So you basically go and do the silo framework. If they're going to write their own content, you say to them, listen, I'll map out your blueprint, I'll publish it live, and we'll give you the framework, the skeleton. You just go fill the content in. Plus, we'll give you an export with all the meta keywords that you need. So when you export the XML out and import in, DWS will put all the information in the right place, all the metadata will be prepped and ready for you. It's all done, and you can just come in, and at the current moment, you can use the Silo plugin. Let's move this back in here. you can use the Silo plugin to import everything, and then we can use SEO Ultimate to go in and just fine-tune things. We can do link masks, we can do the meta descriptions, we can update the keywords. We can actually sort everything out that we need to with this plugin and rapidly get the site optimized. So it's pretty basic. The step 5 is the fastest way I've been possible for me to get websites live. After we've done all this stuff, when I import it in, all the content's in, I just go in and I do my SEO. The silo structure's there, the navigation's all done, everything's prepped and ready. With the latest tweaks we've done, we've put the actual article headline, the painkiller article headline, into the navigation of the site. So here we can see we've got the call to actions. We have the headlines are nice. We can tweak the site. So that's how simple it is, guys, to get your website live. There's nothing more I can really say about that.
All right, Matt. We have some questions.
Sure.
Okay. What's the ETA for the new version of the Silo plugin?
It's been spec'd out now. Soon I'll work on the scope, and it's going to go out to probably one of our developers, and it'll take probably a few weeks, but it's on the charts now. We're actually getting into production with it. So there's a whole bunch of changes.
So the person who asked that question, it's not something that I would really wait on, and we can't answer that. It depends on what you're doing and how many. I'm of the philosophy of use what you can if it's working for you, and when someone there's always a tricky thing when you're a software company. I don't know, those of you on the call who develop software, is you want to tell people that you're working on stuff and you're currently improving, but you run the risk of implying that what you have already isn't amazing. And this is currently the only software that does this. Let's go ahead and look at, actually there's a couple other ones, but we've checked them. They're not quite properly integrated. And some of them just downright are terrible for your site. The other question that comes up, Matt, is no, Brian, that doesn't mean that. He asks, does this mean that there is no access to the DWS WP Silo Builder plugin? If you go to siloblogbuilder.com, you can see our plugin. It is a specific product separate from everything else that we offer, because not everybody else uses WordPress, uses Domain Web Studio. So I think it's what is the fee on that, Matt? It's like $20 or
$19 or
something absurd. Yeah, and then you just get it, and then it all works together. Okay, so the reason we keep that separate is not everybody, believe it or not, shockingly uses WordPress. There's all kinds of other platforms that Domain Web Studio is used for. Another question that is asked is, does the Silo Builder plugin work with a Mac? Okay, so I'll let you address that question for obvious reasons.
With a Mac, well, the plugin's independent of Mac. You're accessing your server through your browser, so using Safari or whatever browser you have on your Mac.
Yeah, Brian, it's essentially it's a download, and you do have to re-upload. But other than that, you're just uploading a file. If you can install a plugin, you can install the Silo Blog Builder. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah. Typically, the way you install it, you'll go to your plugins. You'll click Add New.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Add New.
So it's no different, Brian, than any other kind of plugin, and that's not Mac or PC distinct.
Yeah,
it's just whether or not you.
It works with WordPress, so it'll be on an Apache server or a PHP server, and all you need to do is click on the upload link, point to your zip file, and say install, and it'll ask you for your username and password, and the plugin will install. You need to have IronCube installed to make the plugin work. If you start getting errors and stuff, the first thing you need to do is check is IronCube installed on the server. If it's not,
right, exactly. And for you beginners on the call, it is good for you to become familiar with IronCube, regardless of your hosting company, because it's something that you'll need to hurdle you'll need to get over again and again. I do have I provided personal coaching on how to install IronCube to 1-in-1 and GoDaddy. There's other services that most hosting companies will give you precise instructions. Brian, if for some reason you're not seeing the plugin after you've downloaded into the folder, that's an issue with your Mac. You need to be able to have the settings so that you can see zip files. This is not an uncommon problem. If you've downloaded into the area, make sure that you're pulling it out of the correct folder. If you still continue to have problems, please give us a screenshot and send it to the help desk. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
If I would typically use FTP and push the folder into the WordPress content folder where all the plugins are. If you are having hassles, just use another machine and push it across straight in.
All right. Well, let's just hang on a second. I know that there's many different levels of students here. What Matt's saying is that those of you who are using FTP, software, can somebody just tell me, Brian, what are you using? Are you an FTP or are you a WordPress plugin uploader? Which do you normally do? What's your level of skill? Okay. Okay, and Matt, there is a comment by Deb that I think is useful. I don't want to share it, but something that she's talking about with XML. I don't really understand that. Yeah, so if you want to, Brian, you can just drop it directly into the FTP server. Now, your Mac not being able to pick up the actual file, that's just really not related to us. The file is downloading, it's there. If you're watching it download, it's downloaded. So there's that. Go ahead and send us a screen capture if you're still having problems with that. We'll see if there's any kind of Mac issue. Let's see. Deb, the first Tuesday of every month is our website review for members only. This is a live webinar, free for everybody, but we will definitely go over your website if you bring it on the first Tuesday of this upcoming month, where we provide another course. In fact, I will put you to the head of the line. If you just email me that, we'll actually use you as the first guinea pig in front of everybody. So if you're cool with that, we'll do that. Okay.
Kevin's got other questions? He's got a good question.
Okay, go ahead. Jump on it.
When improving on an existing site, does a silo widget pick up on the existing categories, or is it only categories imported via the plugin importer? Yeah, Kevin, when the plugin works, it does not interfere with what's there already. If we look at the XML on the export over here, let me just move this out the way quickly. I'm just going to open this up with Firefox so we can actually look at this. Each node, a node is basically this little section of code that sits within XML. And XML is built up of a bunch of nodes. Each one's got a unique keyword ID. Okay, so what happens is when the Silo plugin imports the information in and builds the pages and the categories for you and the posts, each one is connected through the unique ID. Now, if there's an existing website, there'll be no IDs associated. So the plugin will just ignore them and do nothing to them. They'll just sit there. There are instances, though, when you're actually working with your pages, if the page name is identical and the URL on the slug is identical, one thing that WordPress will do is, just as a fail-safe, it'll actually add a number 2. So if we had to do a quick edit here, you'll actually see it would look like this. That's what you'd see. It'll have 2, and it just indicates that there's duplicates. And it's just a feature to protect you. It actually creates a new page, but names it number 2 in case you still want to edit something or you want to remove the old page. Okay, so no, it does not influence anything. It only brings in what's there. And if you've already re-imported and you're going to come back, say now, for example, we come down here to our list and we want to map out this next little node over here. We're going to add all those ones there. Let's just say those 2. When we click publish and we come to our website and we re-import that whole XML file, if the unique ID exists, it ignores it. It does not add it again. It only adds in the stuff that's not done. And the reason why we did that was if you're going to make changes to your blog, okay, then you don't want to reset everything back to the original that was in DWS. It's just another safety feature. What's great about this feature is if you're building a big website like 1,000 or 2,000, when you upload files to the web server, there's a time limit for how long a script can run. And on most websites, they default it to either 30 or 60 seconds. Okay, so if your page actually times out and only builds out half your website, you can simply go and re-import it again and it'll carry on where it left off. So you can maybe build a 10,000 page website, but you'll have to just re-import it in 3 or 4 times, or if you're advanced, you can go into your PHP server and you can actually increase the time a script can run for on your server, and that will allow it to build out bigger websites.
Excellent. I think this is a great presentation, Matt. I just want to, there are a few new people on the call, so I just want to emphasize that this is we're really covering one section of the Domain Web Studio, enterprise SEO management, online website silo architecture, SEO design, automation, keyword, and business rule filter. It's a massive application, but pretty easy to use once you get the way that the 6 tabs are connected. Next week we'll be covering the promotional plan. I would say that the significant tab for everyone here is to see how quickly you can take probably the highest level research for SEO, keyword research, and cost analysis out there and quickly import it directly into a WordPress blog. And furthermore, we have outsourcing, in case you haven't been in previous calls, we have outsourcing tools for you to manage large teams of content writers, and next week we're going to show you more about the promotional plan. We've recently launched our own Fiverr platform, so we're going to be having done-for-you services of all kinds over the next 24 months. And I'm starting already now with new products, which we covered in yesterday's webinar. So it's pretty powerful and becoming really refined. And we would love to have you as part of the Network Empire community. For those of you on the call, this is just an introductory call. Of course, you can gain access to both our software and our membership area at networkempire.com, or if you just want to join the membership area and have access to the done-for-you services without using our application, you can do that as well at networkempire.basic.com. If there's not any more questions, we'll probably just have Matt wrap it up with any more comments, and probably just end the call for the day.
Yeah.
If you have specific questions in your case, go ahead and let us know.
Well, there's one very important point, right, guys, with getting to this place here, the website blueprint. The biggest challenge I've seen over the last 4 years working with a lot of clients is they'll get to the Silo framework or the DNA braid and they'll get stuck there because they pay too much attention to all the details like the competing pages. They get too stuck on the numbers. But the thing is, you've got to realize that with the search engines, it's about 6 million pages. It's about 10,000 searches a month. It's about nothing is fixed in stone, so you've got to use those as just a measuring stick, and you need to get your website live. This is why we made the publishing so fast, because this is where the game really starts. At step 5, this is where you get it live, you start driving traffic, and you actually start to see, is there really as much traffic as they say there is?
Right.
And this is where you got to refine your whole process. This is where the real work starts. Building the site, you could actually start your project and only start with those 4. Take them, write the content, publish it, get it live. Let them sit, let them get indexed. Buy a DFY, plug in the one feed to rule them all onto this, get that running, get those websites indexed, get traffic running through these, test and measure them, refine your call to actions, refine your title headlines, and just fix all the little bottlenecks, but then come back and carry on working, and then build the next section and build it out. And work in that process of building it in blocks. Because what happens is your site matures. As you build that out, it's there. There's traffic coming in. Search engines are looking at what you're doing. They understand that theme. Then they see the next chapter coming, and they understand this, and they see us interacting with that. And they see how people are communicating with it.
Exactly. We have a lot of people that have been with us a long time starting to get really excited because they're seeing it all come together. They go through these block chunks, and then they start incorporating the advanced stuff that we keep on a separate area, that was our webinar yesterday, and I recognize some of you from that webinar as well, onefeedtorulethemall.com. And when you start incorporating all that stuff with the stuff Matt's laid out, with the steps that Matt has laid out for you here, you start seeing the traffic start hitting everything, which then boosts the rankings, which then reinforces your silo structures, which then drives more traffic to the individual profit targets, which are your silo landing pages, hopefully. And it starts to work, once you get past the barrier of the software. And we're really looking forward to making sure that all of you get that. Kevin, I can never repeat some of the things that comments you make in these webinars, so I'm not going to. Lloyd asks, if we are launching many websites in our network, is it better to use SEO hosting to have different Class C? Hi, Lloyd. We get this question a lot. I have different services that I use, some from personal friends that create hosting companies that their control panel that they use diversify the C blocks and B, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I use so many third-party WRS2 platforms that I don't really need to diversify my WR1s for small niches. But when you're getting pretty large, that's something that you might want to consult with Matt or Sue on. It really depends. Size matters when it comes to that question. And my personal conversations in person with Matt Cutts about this issue, which was the primary issue that I took to SEO conference, in 2008, talked a lot about this. Now, a lot has changed, but even at that time, there were specific rules that you needed to be able to follow. Well, thanks, Lloyd. I appreciate that you love the software. And the main thing is that I would recommend either getting a consultation if things get a little bit messy or you're dealing with a large client. I'm going to tell you, like, I kind of know what I'm doing, and I will have to consult Matt or Sue if the size of the network gets a little bit large, because nobody knows as much as all of us. So you need a team to be able to look at the technical. There's certain things that Matt would research. You have to waste your money on buying multiple at Class C blocks, because it is going to increase your costs, right? You understand that?
Yeah, you need to just watch the IT debt. Sorry, this is a big train smash that a lot of guys don't realize. Is
yes.
Let's say you're building 1,000 domain network, and it's going to be a private network, and that's your goal, is to build 1,000. Straight off the bat.
Not that we've ever done that.
Straight off the bat, if you're going to have that, you've got the cost of 1,000 domains hitting you every single year.
Right.
So if you're paying $8 for a domain for a year, that means you've got a cost of $8,000 right off the bat. Then you got your hosting. Now you can't put 1,000 domains on one block or one C-class block. So usually you have to break up that cluster of domains on different servers. So typically you put 10 or 20 domains on a block, but you'll have multiple IP addresses, and you'll be segmenting your marketing in separate ways. So you could end up with the cost of maybe 20 servers or 25 servers.
Right.
So that could be, if they're dedicated servers, you're looking at probably £200 there. So that's another £4,000. So you're up to like 12 grand a year. Then you got to think about, okay, how are you going to recoup that information? So your marketing strategy has to be basically thought out very carefully, because you want each entity to be self-sufficient. It has to pay for itself. If you can't get that right, then you need to really stop, because you'll burn money faster than you can imagine.
Yeah, one of the things that Matt does at our live certification events when we're fortunate enough to have him in person, is even better, because he can use the whiteboard. But also we have him, if he's not in the States, we have him piped over conference call. As he'll show you how to map. We do with our clients, make sure that they start looking at their IT debt, especially if they're self-funded or they have a limited budget. Matt's definitely my mentor when it comes to IT debt, because I didn't start accounting for that until the last year and a half or so. In my own personal networks, just like, I looked at the profit and loss statements, but I wasn't accounting enough for server-side issues, which now I do every time. Another thing I would say for those of you who are intermediate to beginner, who the idea of running hosting services across multiple Class C blocks, there's a nice intermediary service that I currently use for one of my networks. I've got several Class C and diversification, a nice diversified portfolio with no technical skills required, like at Matt's level. And we've all checked it out. Sue signed off on it as well. It's called managewp.com. I'm not dropping an affiliate link or anything here like that, because I just want you guys to know about it. It's not a hosting company. It's an intermediary between the hosting company and services and your network. I've got at least 50 blogs on one of my accounts and 25 on another, and they are diversified. At that point, you don't have to be worrying, okay, just host them where you will, but you're going to have to deal with the diversification of, if you have multiple domains through the same service and through the same DNS and different things that you're working on, you're going to need to think about diversifying the different hosting accounts. I've used several hosting accounts that diversify. I'm not going to list them here because we haven't checked them or updated them. I'm going to let Sue and Matt, talk in upcoming webinars and lectures about how we might want to do that. I'm also working with a friend who we've known for many, many years who also sells similar services, so we'll keep you guys informed. Other than that, I think we're probably done. I don't see any more questions. Matt,
Yeah.
I know it's late there, and you have been up. You've been really doing an amazing amount of stuff with the One Feed launch. I do recommend that everybody check out our recent webinar replay at replay.onefeedtorulethemal.com. That's replay. I'll drop the link in here. .onefeedtorulethemal.com, and just type that in. And that might be something that you're interested in seeing. It connects all the dots in the DWS software. Oh, I didn't answer. Ricky, welcome. Good to see you on the call. Price point for DWS4 is going to be, in my opinion, ridiculously affordable, and the value is going to be really affordable by the market for people who are even kind of struggling. It's going to be more than the current cost of the Memo Studio, but I think, Matt, I probably shouldn't even throw out a price, right?
It's not been decided yet. We're still looking at all the stuff.
Decided.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be within the range of the early theme zoom price point in the 3 to 4 something range. Okay, we know that. Okay, but it's not established, and it's going to be such a different bird than this that we just really need to wait to make sure that our IT debt is accounted for, and that's really where Matt's coming from. Price is determined upon.
He's asking about DWS4. It's 147,
yeah.
Or you can get it for 197 with TLKT included. Sorry, I missed the DWS4 point there.
Oh, I apologize. I thought he was talking about Network Empire version coming
the new
out.
version now. No.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, Ricky. We do have a full fusion of the last keyword tool, Network Empire, and a bunch of other things. It's all going to be under one giant, monstrous doomsday device. Okay, including the One Feed. Everything is coming in, and that's just so you guys know. That's really where we're moving. And you don't really want to stop what you're doing. You want to keep using it. I know it's not easy using applications, but all applications are in development. Okay, so we are going to continue to improve and enhance, and nothing like this has ever been done before, and we're really having a great time. So,
yeah.
I want to thank each one of you for taking time out of your busy day. Matt, you need to get some rest. We will upload this replay straight away because it looks like I'm also recording it. I've started to actually back these up, and I'll get it up to you either tomorrow morning to afternoon, or you'll see it by the end of the day tomorrow. Thanks a lot, everyone. Russell Wright, Matt DeCruz, NetworkEmpire.com, signing off.